All right, I want to get to the 60 Minutes interview. I'm just going to read off some of the main takeaways that I had from it, and then Amy, take it where you will from there. So the first thing is on mental strength. He corrected Jon Wertheim and said it's not a gift. It is not a gift. It is trained. And one of the things he talked about was conscious breathing as just an example of one strategy, something you can practice to be stronger mentally. He also rejected the idea of staying positive. He said, no, it's better to accept the doubts and the emotions, then move on, reset. Don't just stay positive, get negative, and then move on, which I thought was very interesting. 2019 Wimbledon, he talked about, he sees it as a match that he was stronger mentally. You know, the stats favor Roger, but he peaked at the right moments. He talked about crowd support. It's something we've talked about a lot. He said, yeah, I learned to thrive in hostile environments, but I do prefer support. He has no political aspirations. You know, we're always kind of curious about what our three might want to do post-tennis. And he did say that at the moment, he's not thinking about politics. Then the thing I said about the Alcaraz loss a little bit early on is also something I wrote down, that he just seemed to take that as, you know, extra motivation for the remainder of the year, in addition to, you know, coming back to places that he wasn't allowed to play the year prior. So, Amy, what stood out to you among that bunch?
Everything you said. I also enjoyed the discussion of the 2019 Wimbledon final against Roger, where he kind of acknowledged that Federer in some ways was the better player, but not really, because the person who finds a way to win and use the unique tennis scoring mechanism to his advantage really is the better player. That's tennis. But I really enjoyed, and I thought it was very respectful of Roger, and I thought that Roger would probably listen to it and smile. So I enjoyed that very much. I enjoyed the discussion of being next to Rafa in the locker room and having, and the B-roll shot that was used to cover that portion of the interview. You see like a low angle shot of Rafa jumping all over the place inside the locker room, and what, you know, how at first he was intimidated by that, but then he learned over time, you know what, you do you, Rafa, I'm going to do me. And he got stronger mentally because of that. And I too really, I almost got a little teary, or I got chills or something when he was talking about, look, it's not all positive all the time. You can't just positive self-talk. Be positive, be positive. Sometimes negative thoughts do creep in. And rather than trying to push them out, you maybe just acknowledge them, allow yourself to live with them for a second, and then recover. And that is the mental thing that is practiced. He didn't say with meditation, but I know he meditates. So that was really like valuable advice to anyone on the planet who plays tennis.
I just want to follow up on the Rafa thing. I'm glad you brought that up, because I should have. I copied Rafa in that respect. That is something that I 100% as a very young player saw him do. And I said, oh, okay, I should do that. Meaning when it's time to spin the racket, M or W, serve or receive, show your opponent you're ready. Show them you are, in a tennis sense, ready to kill them. And it was something that I completely copied. And so I thought it was amazing that Novak said not only that he learned to, you know, not be intimidated by Rafa doing it, he also learned to do some of his own things to show his opponent that he's ready to go. So yes, you know, there could be an external benefit of intimidating your opponent. There's also the internal benefit of convincing yourself that you're ready to go. And that pre-match, you know, before the first point, that ritual and that intensity, I thought that was amazing, because it reminded me, and it made me remember as a kid that I copied Rafa, and I would do a lot of jumping around and staying intense before the match also.
I love that. Wow, that's good to know. I think, okay, that's good stuff. I think that's important, that kind of things we learn from these people, and how all three of these guys have things that people can actually learn from. And I think it kind of humanizes them. It shows how great they are. And Novak, obviously so incredible. But his kind of like peeling back the hood and showing us, yeah, this is what it takes. These are work habits. These are training habits. These are disciplines. These are practices. And in that sense, that's something that's kind of the neat appeal of tennis as a spectator and participant sport. You know, that we can all try these things. I'll keep that in mind, Gil, the next time we play. I hope you jump in.
Yeah, well, not so much in practice.
Okay. All right. Why not? Why not in practice?
Yeah, practice like you play.
Yeah,
that's right.
I guess
Jimmy Connors said to me once, Jimmy Connors, he said, if you play every match like the big match, when the big match comes, you're ready. So it's kind of work habits.
I love that.
Okay. All right. M or W.